Alright, thank you for tuning in to Terani Law Firm's presentation of jail alternatives. This is a very basic and general overview of some of the alternatives that you can expect when it comes to sentencing in criminal cases. It is very important that you always hire or at the very least consult a criminal defense lawyer and rely on his or her advice rather than anything you might hear or read on the internet or anywhere else. If you ever need anything, you can contact us by visiting www.criminalattorneyusa.com. That's www.criminalattorneyusa.com or 888-3USA-LAW. That's 888-3USA-LAW. Alright, here we go. Alright, jail alternatives. Please note that sentencing laws vary from state to state and between the state and the federal system. Most states have a range of potential sentences for a crime, and the judge selects a sentence based on a combination of factors such as the crime charged, aggravating and mitigating circumstances, the defendant's prior criminal history, and other enhancements. Now, judges usually have a variety of options available, including jail and prison alternatives. They include probation, house arrest, work furlough programs, intermittent sentences, fines, restitution, diversion, and community service orders. Many of them can be combined. Throughout the course of this video, we'll dive into the differences and the specifics of each alternative. Probation. Probation is used in both misdemeanor and felony cases. A defendant who is placed on probation must comply with the conditions of probation imposed by the judge. These frequently include mandatory periodic meetings with a probation officer, attending counseling, maintaining a good job or school record, not associating with known criminals, no substance abuse, and a curfew. Agreeing to abide by these conditions is a prerequisite to being placed on probation. Electronic monitoring and house arrest. Many electronic devices are used to monitor activities of those on probation or parole. Usually, a bracelet or leg band that cannot be removed is used. House arrest means that the person is released but ordered to stay at home or some other location and wears an electronic monitoring device. Probation officers or parole officers can call at unpredictable times to maintain surveillance over the person's activities. Work furlough. Work furlough programs permit an inmate to maintain a job outside the jail facility. Typically, the inmate goes to work on his or her normal schedule but spends the remaining hours in custody. Usually, only defendants who are not considered escape risks are placed on this type of program. Intermittent sentences. When defendants are given intermittent sentences, they are allowed to serve their sentence a few days at a time. Intermittent sentences are frequently referred to as serving weekends because the defendant typically works at a job from Monday through Friday and spends the weekend in custody. Diversion. Diversion is the process of sending cases to sources outside the court system. These cases typically involve first-time offenders with misdemeanor charges when there appears to be a high potential for rehabilitation through counseling. Attending counseling sessions is mandatory. Defendants are screened prior to entering the program, and the probation department must verify eligibility. Some programs divert the defendant before the charges are ever filed. The prosecutor keeps the complaint so it can be filed if the offender does not successfully complete the program. Now, if the defendant does successfully complete the program, then he or she will have no record because the case was never filed in a courtroom. Charges are dismissed against defendants who satisfactorily complete the program. To learn more, give us a call at 888-3USA-LAW. The following penalties can be combined with other sentencing options: fines, restitution, and community service. In most cases, the judge has the authority to fine a defendant who is convicted. Now, restitution is different from a fine and that fines are paid to the government, but restitution is paid to the victim. The amount of restitution is based on the victim's financial losses. State laws regulate what type of losses are covered. In some states, you can do community service, and that permits the sentencing judge to make a community service order that requires the defendant to perform volunteer work for the benefit of the community or in lieu of paying fines. And that concludes this presentation of Jail Alternatives by Terani Law Firm. If you want the best and knowledgeable legal representation and a criminal law firm that will treat your case with the consideration and concern that it deserves, please contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 866-847-1247. That's 866-847-1247 for a free and confidential consultation. Thank you.